keep thanks and praise. Our nice to great eternal Father, great eternal Mother. It's worthy to be praised. We seek upon our joy in the mountain of His holiness. Beautiful for our situation, the joy of the whole earth is Isle of Mount Zion. On the side of the north, the city of the great kings. For although the kings were assembled there, they passed it by together and saw it. They were marveled and hastened away. Fear took hold upon them. They were in pain as of a woman in travail. Haile Selassie the first break at the ship of Tasha with an east wind. So I have heard, I have seen in the city of Jah, Rastafari. Jah shall establish it forever, and the daughter of Judah shall be glad because of his righteous judgment. And walk about Zion until the tower thereof that Haile Selassie live and reign it forever and ever. Haile Selassie.
Haile Selassie, the Most High, Jah, Rastafari. Oh, excellent is thy name to all the earth, the Most High. Let's say give thanks to this day, no? Our daily bread, as you say. Yes, I, Rastafari. Give thanks to the gathering and the family, you know? Give thanks to the Most High. Yes, I. Give thanks to the guidance and the going out and the coming in the Most High. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Come Lord, and said unto thy Lord, sit thou at thy right hand until I made thy enemy be thy footstool.
Greetings, and I greet you through the divine presence of Rastafari and the presence of our ancestors who had fought for the liberation of African dignity. We welcome the Rastafari Calgary Benevolent Society's members, and we also welcome the press in particular, and we also welcome the general community within this region here, CMV. Welcome to this press conference that we are planning here, which is basically geared towards sensitizing the public about agitation from the government for the 1963 Calgary incident that caused so much pain and victimization of the Rastafari community in some massive atrocity against our human rights and our civil rights, you know. So the Benevolent Society, which is a society geared towards keeping alive the memory of that atrocity within the Rastafari archives, and also our organization that look out for the victims in particular and the elders within our community, you know. Today decide that we need to bring, after so much years of agitation, a closer look at what the government is dealing with pertaining to giving back to the Rastafari community after so much years of I agitating, meeting with them. So we want to bring to your attention where the struggle is at. Now, over the past years, we have been demonstrating, we have been doing public education towards what is happening. We have been meeting with governments, we have been meeting with the elders and the victims within the community, taking care of some of them needs when possible, when we can, assisting them in their health situation, you know, assisting in their material development and infrastructural development, you know. Meeting with governments and trying to see if we can get them to recognize the need to fulfill that obligation of violation against the citizens' rights, you know. And now that the public defender and I think the 10th of December last year had came out with a report showing explicitly that violation and a wrong was done to the Rastafari community. We are now pushing harder, even trying to do it from a legal standpoint, same way, to get the government to even redress that situation. We have met with our most recent meeting with the government, a special cabinet of ministers, you know. Turn out that we were able to present to them a 13-point document that we had put together based upon a community meeting at the University of the West Indies around a year or two ago. Was it around 2 years ago? Around 2 years ago, yes. You know, so we presented to them at that meeting that 13-point document and was relating to them and reasoning with them pertaining to the survivors and the need to get this process to a closure, because most of the elders are dying without compensation. And it's 50 odd years, going 54 years now, that individuals and people within the Rastafari community who knew they were violated was asking for justice and is not getting it. And over the past 22 years, this committee, which has evolved into the Rastafari Benevolent Society, members within the Montego Bay environment community, has been organizing themselves in a particular manner to get that justice done. So today this press conference is basically about our agitation and a march and a rally coming up on the 1st of August, continuance of that agitation. We have even reached the point where we have done a petition that we had sent to even the Public Defender's Office, which had helped to force the Public Defender to come out with that report, which we are grateful for that came out on the 10th of December, because like we say, it justified the fact that wrong was done to the Rastafari community island-wide, not only in Montego Bay or this environment. We have also come up with a project which we put forward to the government as a part of community compensation, because the whole community was displaced. Not only the victims are individuals from the whole Coral Garden incident, you know. So much people died, and they are requesting, are looking closer at the survivors and not those that have died or who, that had been through that atrocity same way. So we are saying, if it comes to the test where they can't afford to even find those individuals that were rights were violated and were brutalized over the years or who have died, then there is a process which they can even compensate. If they can't find their relative, then there is a project to give that compensation to the community, outside of the fact that we were displaced and we were marginalized, and the whole state, not only the government, came out against I and I as Rastafari and did us whole heap of brutality and wrong that was not justified, you know. So that is the real reason behind the press conference. In details, I don't know if Sister Nanny or any other member at the podium now will want to give a talk pertaining to that same way, to the agitation in terms of the 13 point or whatever, to just go and full up on what I have said so far same way. We will continue the reasoning along with them same way.
Yes, well, give thanks and greetings. As Ika just summarized the agitation over a period of years, agitation to even before the Office of the Public Defender, the Office of the Ombudsman was in existence, and the Rastafari community has been pressuring for compensation for the 1963 Coral Gardens atrocities. And the Benevolent Society was registered as an entity. It is now 1 year since we have been registered as an entity, a legal entity, to agitate on behalf of the elders and the victims of the Coral Gardens atrocities, and to seek compensation. Those are our main objectives, to seek compensation while we take care of the elders themselves, who are still poor economically, poorly housed, and in poor health condition. So, you know, there are several issues that we attend to. Now, the Public Defender's report, I will just read the findings. Based on the material collated, the Public Defender finds: 1. Throughout the period from its inception, and in particular the events of Coral Gardens, Rastafarianism as a religion has been subject to discrimination, denigration, and scorn. 2. Its adherents have suffered extreme acts of violations of basic human rights. And the recommendations, as listed by the Public Defender, is that the state should use appropriate language to apologize to those persons who were directly affected by the events of Coral Gardens, 1963, but who were not involved in the unlawful events or activities which led to the tragedy. 2, the ministries with responsibilities for culture and tourism establish a center specifically for development and preservation for Rastafari culture. 3, urgent consideration be given by the state for the acquisition of the Outer Many property in Trelawny, with a view to allocating a portion thereof to the Rastafarian community for the establishment of the cultural center at paragraph 2 above. 4, the state provides financial, technical and legal resources to the Rastafari community for the purpose organizing a cooperative society exclusively for the benefit of Rastafarians. 5, that a trust fund of no less than 10 million Jamaican dollars be established, subject however to review if further due analysis of the issue suggests need for a greater sum, for the benefit of properly identifiable surviving victims of the Coral Gardens incident. Such trust fund to be managed by a board of trustees of persons with expertise in finance, law and accounting. That the state considers the granting of a license to the cooperative society once established for the growing of ganja in order to supply A, institutions legitimately involved in scientific research on the plant, and B, legitimate users stroke consumers locally and overseas, if and when the commercial use becomes legalized. Now, as a society, we were very grateful for the finalization of the Public Defender's report, because we have been agitating for this for many years. And we were led to understand that after the Public Defender submits a report to Parliament, then Parliament will set up a special committee to discuss the issues and to decide on whether or not compensation will be granted and what and negotiate with the Rastafari community to provide some kind of compensation for the victims themselves as well as the community. Because as Ika pointed out in his opening remarks, it is not only the victims who were beaten, trimmed, physically abused in all different ways, but also the Rastafari community was displaced. People had to run up and down, leave their families, go into the hills, find different ways to hide, you know. And because of the discrimination that has followed this incident, what has happened is that even to today, the Rastafari community still suffers discrimination. So what we are saying is that it is not only the victims that need to be compensated, the community needs to be compensated and given an opportunity to set up projects so that we can assist our members economically. Because, you know, still, even though there are still, as I say, discrimination against Rastafari in the society now. So what we are saying is that at this stage, December, the report was submitted to Parliament. Up to now, we still have not heard about a discussion in Parliament. It is more than 6 months that that report was completed and submitted. So what we are now urging the members of Parliament to do, and the government of the day, is to bring up the discussion. Bring up the discussion, let us have a fulsome discussion in the society so that the entire society can understand. Because even now, many people do not understand what has really happened, what really happened in the Rastafari community and to the Rastafari community. So what we are urging and pressuring for is for a discussion in Parliament, for the report to be discussed so that we can move on to deciding on compensation and having a closure to the entire situation. Thank you.
Yes, anyone, you want to say something?
I have one thing to add. In light of all of what's been happening in Jamaica and globally. Hi, I'm Camilo Brown. public relation officer, assistant actually. I would like to add that in light of all of what has been happening in Jamaica, globally, with the crime and discrimination against black people, Black Lives Matter, this march that we'll be having on August 1st will be pertaining to that as well. So even though we'll be asking for repatriation, we are also would like to march on the fact that, you know, Black Lives Matter, and we are talking about all the crime in Montego Bay. We'd like for that to be improved. All right? So we look forward to seeing everyone on August 1st at 3 o'clock to march from clock to Sam Sharp Square. All right?
Yeah, give thanks. You know, following up on the discussion again, same way too, pertaining to the government and the amount of pressure that we have been exerting on the government. What we say is, or what we are not in agreement with, or we are disappointed with after meeting with them on the 27th of May at a special cabinet meeting with them, you know, is the fact that they are not dealing with us officially as a registered body or organization where we can negotiate with them face to face or deal with them. They haven't written to us as to the points or as to what they are looking at. We have to be calling them every time the process is to be moved forward. We have to be calling them, we have to be forcing their hands and all of that same way. You know? So we want them to recognize that, we want them to deal with us as a legitimate body, written statements, things, written communication, so that we can see that there's on paper, in black and white, there is a communication going on between us and the government. You know, not just a little call by phone alone. We want it to be recorded that way still. So we demanding that the government deal with us that way. And we demanding that they expedite the process same way still. Because like we say, so many of the elders have been dying off. The last one that struck us hard was Sister Enid, who was one of the face of the whole atrocity, the daughter that wrapped her king man in the mattress. Everybody know about that story. She died and no compensation. And we are saying even our family must get compensation. And the community also of Rastafari must get that. We have put to them a 13-point document, a 13-point recommendation alongside the recommendation that the public defender had done, because we were in negotiation with the public defender in putting some of these recommendations together. However, she left out most of our recommendation out of the final report. Yeah. So we are still pressing to get our 13 points recommendation discussed, and when we say discussed, not only by them but we and them face to face still, you know. So that is another issue where sorely is agitating us same way, you know, in the agitation process, that they are not dealing with us where we feel kind of comfort. We are afraid of an underhanded compensation process taking place, because the other day we are in the fisherman village situation where them go one side and buy out some of the fishermen, and when you take a stock, the rest of the community were in an eye, and some of them never satisfy and some satisfy. So knowing that even the victims had given us permission at a meeting that we had with them to even negotiate on their behalf same way, we want them to give us written documentation of the process that they are going through and dealing with. You know, after 2 months, they must could have called us back or sent us an email or a letter saying that we have viewed your request that you brought in, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and tell us what they intend to do. We are not getting none of that communication, so we are afraid that it's drawn out process again. So come March 1st is a demonstration again, August 1st is a demonstration continuing the agitation to let the government know that we seriously want this thing to come to a closure. And we mean in our lifetime here. And opportunely, they are the government in power that was in power at the time of the incident, so it is opportunist for them to even try to resolve the matter, but not without the other side of the party being a part of the process. That is why Sister Nanny right here asks about the parliamentary open discussion of the issue, you know. So it is important for us to get the process going. We definitely want the government to know that, because if it can be solved amicable, no problem. If we have to go to the courts, then we will go to the courts. If we have to go to the international human rights body, then we're going to take it there, because as they can see, this thing is not going away. They have set up reparation committees And I hear them on the TV the other day talking about how them set up reparation committee and what them going to do for transatlantic slavery from the old colonial masters and all of that. And in all of those discussions recently that I'm watching GIS, I don't hear one of the Minister Babs Green was talking that said, well, all right, now we have met with the Caralga and Rastafari Caralga and Benevolent Society and we are going to do this towards solving the problem. They left out the Caralga now tied completely and they are talking about reparation in the fact that they are setting up reparation committee. That should come to their mind right away as a point where they're supposed to take up right away and make mention. So you see, they are hiding the process. They are dragging their feet. After meeting us with us for after 2 months, they most could have been able to come on TV or come publicly and say, we have met with the Rastafari community and we intend to do this or we intend to do that. So them still have us under the sheet. So brothers and sisters out there, Pan-Africanists, Rastafari, pile on the pressure. We are doing it in a diplomatical way, still same way and agitating, but we need the pressure to be piled on in a unified way. So give support in our efforts to draw the government to the point where they actually do something. Rastafari, Haile Selassie.
August 1st, Monday, August 1st. From 3 until 7 p.m. Well, meeting place will be at Clock, so we'll be marching from Clock to Sam Sharp Square. Starting at 3, the gathering everyone should be there between the hours of 2 to 3 o'clock, and we'll march out, leaving from 3 until... Alright, I'm going to give you the exact route. We'll be gathering at Clock, Montego Bay, marching down Barney Street, onto St. James Street, to Sam Sharp Square, where we'll be having a gathering. We'll also have some drumming taking place and some discussions. My name is Camila Brown. I'm the Public Relations Assistant.
I'm Ika Tafara, the Chair.
I am Pamela Williams, Secretary.
Louis Brown, Treasurer.
Rastafari, greetings.
Greetings, brethren. Love.
Yeah. What is your name?
Walter Alexander Brissett.
And where were you in 1963 during the Carl Garden atrocities?
I go to my brethren, we just go and have a little smoke, go to get a fresh now, we go to collect copy. All we get is police come down, uno kill good police, and that was it. Because I was working with Watt and McDermott to go and collect £7.10. I have to leave my pay, go to prison. You take me to the Brutish prison, which the habitual criminal should be. You don't carry me to the youth prison. And pure sufferation. All the good I see the wicked boss do, it was to put cleaner in prison at all. Prisoner could get a cleaner to read. Because in prison and see my family in country, you produce triplet.
Were you familiar with politics in those days?
No.
No, so you don't know who was in parliament in those days?
Yes, I know who.
Yeah. So who else was in there? Was any PNP in parliament during the time of 1963?
Yes, man.
Can you name one?
Norman Manley, because boss a brother that, he did that business. Pinnacle, him same way.
Him like in who? Norman Manley?
Yes.
So Norman Manley was part of the criminalization and the brutalization of Rastafari?
Yes, because they put together, there was Peter Evans, a British barrister here, decided to take our case. Him said, boy, 24 hours left here, so we don't need a year.
So therefore, we cannot be blaming just one side of the house.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, so you have to say both the wicked one on that side and the wicked one on that side.
Yes, because I named both of them Gog and Magog.
Yes, okay. So what do we do today? Today now we still have the JLP and the PNP here. And Rastafari still cannot get a confirmation of what the reparation, the compensation of the Rastafari, who have gone through it. Both of them are still in Parliament. Now, this is the closest that they have ever been in there. One
make a difference.
Rastafari. See the camera they go on this one. And you you can't leave it there, my brother man. It's a Rasta man still, you know.
Yes. I know you're a heart. So than that, give me
yeah, man, respect every time.
So we're here at the press conference, and what Brother Brissett is saying now that in 1963, Norman Malley was also in Parliament. So to be blaming just one side of the house is not the right thing, is it? So
and he was the most educated,
not entirely.
A lawyer.
Yes.
And you can control the lesser.
So the good of the people wasn't represented in 1963.
No.
Yeah, that's why they were able to get away with this atrocity.
Yes.
So compensation is due.
Reparations. The general society supported the atrocities against Rasta, because Barlet from long time have been involved in much persecution against Rasta. And it's full time it stopped. And the blame game has to stop as well. You can't continue to say, well, okay, that government. So when PNP is in power, you have to do some things to address this. And when a new JLP government come in power, do something to address the thing as well. It's not for any one side, but for a wrong to be righted. And that's all. And they must stop skirting the issue and believe them can duck it. Can't be ducked.
So another march is planned for Monday, Emancipation Day. It was Rastafari who brought emancipation back on the map. So it's just rightful that this should be the beginning of the new era of marching.
Yes, well.
Because we're not only going to march on the JLP, we're going to march on the PNP, and we're going to march on the government of Jamaica, and even the Queen.
Well, you say march on NEP?
NEP.
Step
right
on
now,
them.
No, it's only 47% of the people vote in the last election. 53% of the people out there don't have righteous government, where government one for all and all for one. So no, this is the time for Rastafari. Empress, please, we're doing a little talk here. Jeez. It's like, this is the time when Rastafari need to come forward now and say, we have to represent ourselves. Do you think so, Brother Brissett?
Yes, because they won't represent us. They fight against us. So fight against you, not going to represent you.
That's true.
It's your enemy.
That's true. That is true. And it's a continuous thing. You can't look to them to solve your problem. At the end of the day, if Rasta gather, is a mighty force.
That's what I'm asking for so long. Unity.
Yes.
Then when we stand up strong, Babylon tremble.
Yes. Rasta has contributed much that is positive to our society. And this wrong should be righted.
We have to write. Thank you very much for coming out to this press conference. What's your TV station name again?
CEE. Community Education and Entertainment Television. Yeah, man. We teach black people about themselves, man.
Especially from the mother country, Africa.
Man. Yeah, man. Afrocentric.
You show the most African
show African movies, we show documentaries, we show all kind of things, and we show Rastafari too. We do, because it's all about that. Yeah. One love.
You can see us on the same...
Yeah, man. On the same network, man. Baba, big up yourself, man.
Rastafari.
Wonderful work you're doing.
People love it.
Tell you, holy power, good.
You know, I spoke to Cardell Green about at some place about the what community television is all about for the people now. He said, man, people like to see themselves.
Of course.
Good community news. We know what's going on in Kingston, but we don't know what's going on around the corner.
That's right. It's wonderful.
Aye. See you later, man. We'd love to get an Empress. Empress, come in at this, man.
Greetings.
Greetings. What's your name, please?
I'm Charlene Harris.
Yeah, me know what them don't know. Sure.
I'm Charlene Harris, and I'm the assistant secretary. I'm the assistant secretary of the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society, the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society.
Yes. We're going to march again.
Oh yes, we need to. We need to, because you see, we can't afford for the government to put this at the back burner anymore.
True.
Because, you know, we have always been a patient people. We have always been a humble set of people. We have always been a people that always say love, and we continue to do that. But we realize that even with all these good characteristics that we do have, the government takes us liberty of us, and so they don't really pay us any mind. No, this is not to force anybody's hand, but to give us due diligence.
True.
You know, it's not to force anybody, it's not to do anything, but we think your collective justice, your collective minds should say to you that it's about time. It's about time. The Rastas have been patient. They have been, you know, they have not been at society.
We have been.
We have been. It's true. I need to correct. We have been a people who have been calm. We have been patient. We have adhered to the society's rules and laws.
This is another march. What do you think this is going to do?
Well, one of the things we think it's gonna do, and we hope it does, is to give a prod to the government to say, and I see where there is a con. I don't know which one of the cons, but it is a con, because they are allowing other things, and not that we are saying these are not important, but up to even now, none of successive governments have ever said, even if they're saying, I apologize, and start from there.
See.
They have never ever said that.
Hold a second for a minute there, let me check on this thing here. Yeah, man, we recorded, man. All right.
Yes. So even yes, and I'm saying what is happening, in my opinion, and I'm not sure if I'm speaking for everybody, but I know I speak for some persons, Rastafari, that you need to do things in order. 1963, and this happened. Up to now, not even an apology.
True.
Not even an apology to say. So we might have done something wrong.
Yes. We know that they haven't done it before, and they haven't done it yet.
Yes.
Now, but we're going to march again. We have always been marching.
Yes.
When will and who will represent Rastafari?
You see, they don't realize. Yes.
Yeah.
To say that who we need, you know, it is to get attention again.
Yes.
It is to bring it to the fore again.
Do you think it's time for Rastafari to represent Rastafari in Parliament?
But yes. And this is one of the ways we can represent in Parliament, because when we get their attention and when they are speaking, we will be there speaking on our behalf to say what we would like to see happen, what we want to happen. Because I'm sure that
you can hold on a little bit.
I'm sure
this going
that
on television, you know, so if you keep doing that, making noise and walking in front of the camera and everything, it's like we still recording, we're still doing something for television, you know. But yeah, then they walk in front of the camera, then they make noise and all, so me tell them on TV, that's how we stay. Rastafari. So as it is right now, we take down the banner while we're talking, we're doing everything.
Because they say we have to be out here by a certain time.
Oh, I thought because they had a camera bigger.
No. They what time they give us, Sister Nanny? What time they give us to be out of here? We should be out of here. Yes, 4:30. They gave us 4:30. Actually, they gave us 4:30.
All right, so we might as well call this off then?
No, it's not a matter of calling it off. It's just that we know we have to wrap up when they come.
All right, so as far as it is now, we're marching again, and we expect the JLP and the PNP to see us.
Yes.
Now, they have been seeing us all these years. Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to represent ourselves as Rastafari and become the voice of the people?
Well, we are. It is a form of representation to be marching. It is a form that we want the government to pay attention, and so our demands can be met. And one of the things that we are hoping to do is that when it goes to Parliament, we want our representatives to be there to have our say, our representative, our chosen representatives to be there.
And
to
it's
have
going
our
by
say.
the vote, by the vote.
Well, I guess it might be, or whatever selection.
Yeah, it will take
we will want that, and I hope that happens.
Cool. We all everywhere we walk, we hear the people saying that Rastafari is not united.
Just tell you not to come around because the camera is still running.
Yeah, man. It's like everywhere we go nowadays, we hear one-on-one saying that Rastafari is not united. Now, as we different mansions and so on, but as far as one is Rastafari. So if all Rastafari come together in one massive demonstration, maybe that will wake them up, don't you?
Yes, I think so. It doesn't, I don't know who said, but one wrong that is done to one person is done to all. So it doesn't matter which mansion of Rasta you belong to.
You're still Rastafari.
You're still Rastafari. And this atrocity, remember I wasn't around in 1963, but it doesn't stop me as a young Rasta to say, as a young girl Rasta.
And you're still feeling it.
Yes, I still feeling it. Every time I talk to an elder who has been through the atrocity, I shudder. My blood actually runs cold as gone into Peter Tosh. My blood runs cold. You understand? So it doesn't matter if you were Nyabingi, 12 tribe, it doesn't matter. You are a Rasta, you call for His Majesty's name, and that is what links us.
Rastafari.
And so we must always be our brother's keeper. Come out, support, have your say, contribute. That's what I ask all Rastafari.
The march is August 1st, Emancipation Day, and it's Rastafari back and Emancipation back on the map, and we're going to do it. Rastafari means business now, and we're going to take it straight to the top. Rastafari. Thanks for talking to us.